to the channel. I am back in possibly the world's biggest pet market, certainly Asia's, as far as I know. I might be wrong on that, but this place is absolutely huge either way. So here, it's right in between Guangzhou and Foshan, and this place is unreal. The amount of animals that they have in this place, as well as plants. As you've seen on the way in, you've got to drive around this place, such is the size of it. There's streets upon streets of buildings, and then within these buildings there's multiple floors and multiple rows. Check this out ahead of me. So it goes on and on and on down here. There's loads of different rows, and each row kind of specializes in a different thing. So right here where I am, they're selling aquariums, and they're really affordable as well. One of the cool things about here, because a lot of these shops represent wholesale businesses, huge industries. You know, all the big brands are here, but then you've also got the smaller brands. But because of the scale, these things are really affordable here in China. So you can get a really good tank for a couple $100. So you've got all the little stalls, which are obviously cheaper rent, but then you've got these shops that have more of a specialized focus. So this shop specializes in really high quality fish. So check out the peacocks here. Beautiful. Now I'm here for a specific purpose today. I'm trying to get some more Mbuna. Mbuna, never said that out loud. Don't know how you pronounce it, but I've kept them for years, man. Years and years and years. I used to breed them. Look at this guy, absolutely beautiful. I used to breed them on a scale that was big enough to buy my flights for China all those years ago. 15 years ago, but now I keep them as a hobby. But shops like this are just incredible, because check out the variety. The angelfish in here, along with the rainbow sharks and discus, along with these plecos. They've got some L number plecos in here. I'm not huge on my plecos. I don't really know exactly what I'm looking at every time, but I can tell you that they've got some special ones. Let's have a look here. As we go around the shop, okay, we've got cold water over here. I'll find you some L numbers here. Check out these. Got a ranchu up there. Big fantails. These guys are huge, man. The size of them. Smaller guys, and a tank of ranchu down here. I do like ranchu. They're so cute, man. I know it's a polarizing goldfish. Lots of people think that they look kind of malformed, but I like them. Wonderful stuff. 你好，你好，这个大的是几岁的？3岁 3 years old to get to that size. It's impressive. And here we've got the discus. I've never kept them, but I know they are a tricky one in terms of water parameters. You need to get it just right. Seemingly doing it right in here. It's more these special plex. No prices on display. Oh, they're managing to breed them here. You can see this pleco is fanning the eggs in there. And got a bristle nose in there. Ancistrus. More bristle nose here. Well, the one on the outside is, and then you've got, I don't know what he is, the guy guarding the eggs. Absolutely beautiful, these discus. And this is just one shop of many, so we will continue. They've got some cichlids down there, some, it's a different lake. It's the shell dwellers. I'm after Mbuna. So this store is actually selling tanks, but it's got display fish. as examples. Check out this arowana. So these smart tanks like this, well, we'll find out in a minute how much this kind of tank would cost, but it's all built in. Now, 这个鱼缸大概多少钱？一共1万 Okay, so over 10,000 RMB. 谢谢 Over 10,000. 哎，还可以吧，不太好。我这个客人介绍 10,000 RMB, so like over $1,000. But within that, 我可以打开吗？看一下。England. 英国。Check out the filtration on this. Superb. 对对对。So we've got the dry and wet separation chamber here. So they've got a filtration system built in underneath with multiple units. It's way more complicated than I've ever had. Look how good that is. The size of it. Just step back, check that out. That's what $1,000 will get you. Beautiful. Let's keep having a look in here. Some more wonderful display tanks. These are really nicely done. Really tasteful. You get some tacky ones. Speaking of which, glowfish. Can't stand them. Now these kind of tanks clearly aimed at businesses and offices. So beautiful. The size of these things. And because there's so many in this building, you kind of take them for granted. But actually, if you stop and appreciate just how big that thing is, look at this, just step back so you can see it with the sofas. Look at that, that is a monster. And I've just skipped past like some massive tanks here, but they're kind of dwarfed in comparison to the size of that. Man, the things I would do with a tank like that, imagine that as an African cichlid tank, just absolutely crammed full with beautiful rocks. Oh, the dream. Man, this video could potentially be way too long. I keep getting sidetracked and pulled into different stores here because they're incredible. Each one you step into has its own thing going on. Of course, there is repetition. And once you've gone down like 2 of these streets, you've kind of seen everything. But because they're all making their own tanks, there are some cool varieties available. Like, you're not just limited like you are in the West to go with the known brands. I know you can work outside of the known brands when you get in a new aquarium and you can get them built to order. I've done that before in the UK, up in the Northeast. I forget what they were called now, but so expensive. I mean, look, you can get a tank like this, 1,680 with the built-in under tank filtration, which goes into that blue thing. Okay, it doesn't look the prettiest with the blue, but you know, once you've got that set up as an aquascape, it's going to be all right. 1,680 RMB. Unbelievable. So affordable, man. But we're still on the hunt for Mbuna. Mbuna. Where are they? Not everyone has them. They're hard to track down. Little puffers. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows like this, and they go on pretty far, all the way down. 30 RMB each, 20 RMB each. Red-eared sliders, ridgebacks, yeah, baby turtles. Snapping turtles are 80 RMB for one. This snapping turtle, or should I say alligator snapper, he's 20 years old. Hopefully he hasn't lived his entire life in this tank, and that's just for display purposes, but the size of him, man. Made that mistake of buying an algae eater when I was new to keeping fish back in the day. Terrible fish. Get way too big and aggressive. Don't really eat any algae. Someone needs to change their name. Look at this. Wouldn't be out of place in a zoo. And I think these are bromeliads. Where in the jungle, frogs would deposit the tadpoles down there, the eggs. Unbelievable. Replicating Zhangjiajie, like Avatar Mountains here. And they've obviously got the filter running through and pumping it up so it comes down again through the moss. In another little street now, and at the end of here is the shop that I usually get my African cichlids from. I think it's the one down there on the left, if memory serves. Hopefully he's still there. People move around a lot. And then I need to come back here to pick up some African cichlid safe plants. None of those. Some Anubias would be good. They tear up everything else. So we'll head into there shortly. So keep going down here. Here we go. This isn't my guy, but guy 2 shops up is set up. Mixed cichlid tank here. They've mixed some OB peacocks in with the Mbuna. You got your Labidochromis here. It's my favorite. This one looks like he might be a mix. He's got some blue on his face. Don't think he's a pure breed. Is that a living stony? They get huge. But you don't need to worry too much about the welfare of the fish here where they end up, because massive tanks are so affordable and very popular to have huge tanks here. Of course, there's people who are going to buy stuff without knowing what they are, misinformed. That's worldwide, isn't it? But I would like to think that these guys all own big tanks. This fella here is picking up some pretty big fish. And he's got no problem mixing Mbuna with peacocks and big living stonies. And I see they've also got jewel cichlids in there, South American jewel cichlids. They've got no business being with African cichlids. But when it's overstocked like this, which is intentional, when you overstock your tanks, it cuts down on aggression. Check out these Oscars. Beautiful red on them. So that wasn't my shop, and those Mbuna were way too big. I need smaller ones because my tank's full of juveniles. I got a couple of bigger ones, but they're not as old as they got here in these tanks. Mine are more around this size. And it's 10 RMB for 4 of them. So like, not even $2 for 4. Here's the guy I get mine from. Yellow Labs, my absolute favorite, but again, they're way too big. Demasoni down here, way too aggressive. They're beautiful, but I can't house them because they're rough. Pseudotropheus Asai. They're a peaceful fish. They would get along in my tank. Not as hardy though. 25 RMB. I don't know if that's each. They do well. I might pick up some of these guys as well. Yeah. They're African cichlids, but the wrong lake. I love them, but they're just so peaceful. Can't live alongside mine. All right, I'm gonna get some. These guys I found outside. Now, I don't have an ID for these guys right now, but they're beautiful. She's saying they're imported from Taiwan. And they are 80 kuai for Itiao, so 80 for one, 80 RMB. I'm gonna pick up 2 of those because they're stunning. I think they're rusties. I think this guy, he's called a rusty, from what I remember. I haven't kept them for so long. I've just stuck to your regular yellow labs for a long time. Say, oh, just so easy and peaceful. But I got a big tank, and it's nicely set up now. So I think I'll step it up and get some of these guys.
这个要20条。
啊，随便的可以。So I'm picking up 20 of these guys for 50 RMB. So like $6 for 20 African cichlids. They might not be the most premium in terms of quality, but I'm trying to overstock my tank, cut down on aggression. So she's just grabbing whatever colors. I don't really mind. Just trying to bolster the numbers in my tank. And then I'll pick up a couple of those special ones as well. If they end up interbreeding, I don't care so much. I'm not about the purebred stuff. So normally when you come to this kind of place, you'd catch your own, you'd pick them out yourself. Or of course you direct them the same as you would in any pet store in the West, which specific one you want. But I've seen it plenty of times where they just give you the net and then you chase down the one you actually like. But I'm not bothered about them, just 20. So here I'm trying to get a pair, if you can. And I've just moved my tank to my new office, and with that fresh experience, I know how tricky it is to actually catch your fish. Never mind a specific one, but I'll leave it to her. She's up on a step ladder doing that, bless her. Incredible. Yeah. 哇，太大了！它真的太大，230 $30 for the big boy. Okay, I now need to get some Anubias. If it's not in here, I don't know where it'll be. These guys, man, it's the best shop in the whole market for plants. It's like the Tropica of China. It's incredible. The quality is so nice. Look at that, man. This is the best. Are you getting a sense of the scale of industry here yet? Oh, they're in her other shop. We need to go to the other shop. Ah, 那个可以，这个大的，对。这个15块钱一杯。好，你还有吗？还有，要多少？5个，5杯。New quantity word quantifier in cups. 谢谢，有车。OK， 好，可以。Now, this tank is actually a lot more established than it looks. It's fully cycled, but because I've just moved it, I kind of started again with the substrate. So right now, it's not actually an ideal African cichlid tank. I took out all of the big rocks when I was moving it and caught a lot of the fry from within. And also took out the sand because it was disgusting. It had gone pretty bad, but the water itself was perfect. Perfect water parameters, perfect pH and nitrates, etc. So I kept the water in a huge couple of big vats. And we've put in place these white stones, but I'm going to add sand. I'm waiting for that to arrive. Good quality sand that is aquarium safe. And it's actually like a mixture of crushed coral. So it should buff the pH, which is already in pretty good. state. I'm happy with the water quality. Let these guys soak and acclimatize for 15-20 minutes. Doesn't look too happy, the big man, but he'll be all right. And of course, when it comes to cichlids, African cichlids like this, in order to control the aggression, there's two ways of doing it. You can have, your ratios between male and female and have distinctly different looking fish. So your yellow labs looking very different from your other guys. And then, I wouldn't ideally have these melanochromis in here, but that cuts down on aggression. One way of doing it is overstocking it and not having any areas for them to form territories. I don't like that. I think it's not very natural. And like right now, this doesn't look natural. I'm going to add some nice sand that is down here, this black sand mixed with crushed coral. And the big rocks just to keep it, have some kind of structure. And also because I've got the under tank filter, it actually pulls water from the bottom and the top here through that pipe. And it gets blocked with sand, so the big rocks protect that. And obviously I'm going to have some big rock formations here. I took out the big stones that I had in here before. I'm going to add in some artificial ones that look pretty natural. They look pretty damn good. And that's another way of breaking up territory. So you can either overstock a blank one, an empty space, or you can have enough to break up the line of sight between the fish, so that at night time, when the lights are off, you shouldn't see any fish. That's the ideal, that they've all got enough place, but they're not disputing over territory within there. All right, so I've chucked the Anubias in as a temporary measure. I'm going to actually scape this thing. Yes, daft to scape it after it's already full, but well, I had to move it in a hurry and it was a whole thing. But anyway, they're in there now. The new guys are settling in. I haven't seen any fighting yet. Everyone seems pretty happy, pretty chill together. Next step will be to get the rocks in there again. I've got some old ones that I took out, and I've got those artificial ones coming in. But everything's ticking along. The under tank filter here is overflowing on this section because these socks keep getting full up. Because when I moved the tank, all kinds of detritus got kicked up. But yeah, it's interesting to see these tanks over here that come with standard under tank filtration. I've not done much to it really. I mean, I've put in some sponge filters in there because at one point I had some fry living in there, and I've replaced that pump with a more powerful one. It does like 2,500 litres an hour. Pretty good. And that's about it. The lights on this tank are nice. It's AQ Star with Bluetooth functionality, so I set it up on my phone that it's got sunrise and sunset and a gradient, so it slowly comes on in the morning and then fades out at night. I've got a cichlid holding here. She's a bit too small to pick her up and strip her, so hopefully she spits out the fry by herself, but for now I've just secured her in here away from these hungry mouths. All right, that's it for today. Very long video. Didn't mean to make it this long, but it's a hobby of mine. Oh, I forgot. I've also got the Eheim Pro 4 Plus running on this thing, with the output going through the UV bulb. So water quality in here is superb with the double filtration. So maybe slightly overstocked. How many fish I got in there now? Like about 20 little guys today. I don't know, it's like 50 or something. But if they outgrow it, I've got my eye on one of those massive tanks that we saw for sale today. All right, till the next one. Keep it fishy.